it's Ella Hendrickson.
And Robin White, and today we will be talking about how government monitoring may be affecting you.
How confident are you that your information is only available to who you want to see it? Do you have your social media accounts on private? Have you ever used an incognito tab on Google? Or thought that the only person reading your message was the person you sent it to? Would you feel nervous or paranoid if you knew people you had never met could be monitoring what you do on your phone every day? It seems like a major invasion of privacy, but has been consistently happening since cell phones first became popular. Due to the fact that today's level of online presence is drastically higher than ever before, this is a relatively new concern, but is still a reality that must be acknowledged. There's no longer the possibility of a truly private life. The things we do on social media and the internet are easily available to large corporations as well as the government. There are now ways in which our location is always known. The things we like, the things we don't like, our beliefs, even what we look like. This information can all be easily collected, even if one has a small internet presence. People have the right to not be afraid of how their private information could be used. And while it is difficult to restrict this invasion of privacy due to the fact that the groups that take advantage of this information are large businesses and the government, laws still must be put into place.
In December of 2005, news reports revealed that the National Security Agency, otherwise known as the NSA, has been monitoring phone calls and internet activity of American citizens. This revelation was the first time in which a government agency was revealed to have been surveying its average citizens through cellular activity. There were also secret government documents which were published in the media in 2013, which confirmed that the NSA obtains copies of information carried by domestic fiber optic cable networks. This was seen as a major invasion of privacy, and in July of that year, a federal judge ruled that the government could not use state secrets privilege to end any arguments against this practice. The NSA is not the only government agency to utilize the lack of restrictions in the obtaining of data. Because privacy laws haven't kept up with advances in technology, police have also claimed the authority to the information collected by cell phone companies without warrants. This means that the police can collect information on anyone without having to gain approval from a legal or government official. The laws surrounding the privacy of a person's digital information are inconsistent or even non-existent. The level of privacy protections depends on where you are. For example, your location information is protected in Montana, but not in Georgia. In Illinois, police need a warrant to know where you currently are, but not where you were last week. In California, your location information is protected against warrantless search by state and local police, but not by federal authorities.
New laws and orders allow for the government to breach the privacy of the public. For example, Executive Order 12333. Sarah St. Vincent, a U.S. surveillance and national security researcher, stated that the public has been kept in the dark about warrantless surveillance under Executive Order 12333. This executive order allows government agencies to collect information on U.S. citizens in a way that the government has never fully explained to the public. This order legally allows many parts of the government to have access to information that many people consider private, without the need for a warrant. In California and 8 other western states, the U.S. Court of Appeals recently decided the government can monitor you virtually any time it wants, with no need for a search warrant, meaning that government agents could potentially put a GPS device on the bottom of your car and keep track of you everywhere you go. This does not violate your Fourth Amendment rights because you do not have any reasonable expectation of privacy in your own driveway, and no reasonable expectation that the government isn't tracking your movement. It is a dangerous decision, one that could turn America into the sort of totalitarian state imagined by George Orwell in his novel, 1984.
This may seem surprising, but most Americans already believe that this was possible. According to a survey by the Pew Research Center, 7 in 10 U.S. adults say it is at least somewhat likely that their own cell phone calls and emails are being monitored by the government. So the majority of people already believe the government could be tracking their own private conversations that occur over the internet. So how do we try to address the level of freedom that the government has in accessing our private information? First, the intelligence community needs much stronger restrictions on which American communication channels it can access without a court order, as well as laws that require it to delete inadvertently collected data. The NSA must also not be able to legally pass information to other agencies unless completely necessary. Data collected by the NSA under its Foreign Surveillance Authority should not be used as a vehicle for domestic surveillance. One of the most promising ways to ensure this is the USA Freedom Act. In the wake of Edward Snowden's revelation of sweeping electronic surveillance by the National Security Agency, Congress enacted the USA Freedom Act to put an end to the NSA's nationwide bulk collection of telephone metadata, who we call, when we call, and for how long, on everyday Americans. This act must be upheld in order to restrict the invasion of American privacy. Americans must be made aware of the phenomenon and then must work to encourage the government to be more honest about the monitoring of internet activities of Americans. Americans must also try to ensure that the U.S. government follows the commitments that they made in reducing the bulk collection of metadata on everyday Americans.